Rover's season continues to fall to pieces. And of course, we've already heard what I've had to say about the match. What about the Blackburn Roverseas Mafia? They're coming at you with the latest round of reactions, and they're coming at you next.
Well, I'm back home now. It's about 1 a.m. I had time to digest some thoughts from the game, and yeah, I still feel like ultimately it's a point gained, not 2 points dropped. You have to consider, obviously, going into this game, we lost our captain due to a red card, losing Ayala last second due to an injury, which is very typical of Ayala with his injury record. But nevertheless, having to move Ryan, who's not accustomed to playing at centre-back, he has done for Namibia and has had to play centre-back on a couple of occasions, but for him to step up and fill in that position tonight at such short notice, and to put in the performance like he did, a man of the match performance, just screams volumes to me of how good of a player Ryan Nyambe is and how criminally underrated he is from some people. In my opinion, Ryan Nyambe gives us a 7 or 8 out of 10 every single game, and the fact Zifuk's come in and has displaced him from the team is a shame, really. And I know he's not signed his contract, so it may have an element of something to do with that. But at the same time, if we don't get promoted, I don't think Zifuk's going to be joining us anyway. So I would much rather be playing Nyambe, personally. I know he's not got the best attacking attributes at times, but he gets us down the pitch. And to me, anyway, it seems like he doesn't even have that bad of a cross. It seems more of a Mowbray thing, telling Nyambe to pass it back every single time he gets down there. But anyway, obviously, we're bringing Nyambe into the team, into the right of a back three. Something I'm not sure whether he's actually done before for us. And then obviously bringing Joe Rankin-Costello in. Joe Rankin-Costello, to me, needs a loan, desperately. He looks out of his depth at this level. I don't know why. Last season, there was a hell of a lot of people asking and shouting from the high heavens that Mowbray start him over Nyambe, and he did start quite a few games over Nyambe at times last season. But since his injury, he's come back and he just looks a shadow of his former self. The only thing he seems to still be doing right, which he did before he got injured, is his ability to cross a ball. His ability to cross a ball is just as good as someone like Giles, who everyone's raving about at the minute. Rankin-Costello can cross a ball as good as Giles, I have no doubt about that. But the amount of times today he looked out of his depth defensively, doing silly little things next to the pitch line and dribbling the ball out of play, making himself look like an absolute tit. Infuriating me so much, and he just desperately needs a loan. We can't be relying on someone who's clearly not at it as a backup right back right now. And obviously I feel like this is why we've brought Zifuk in, and we just got very unlucky that Zifuk has an injury and Nyambe couldn't play at right back tonight. So when you put into the elements of the fact that we've had to play a right back at centre back, someone who's been poor since he's come back from injury and called upon last second to play at right wing back, not having our captain, Ben going off injured with about 20-30 minutes to go or so, it's probably a good draw. But there's nothing that can dispute the fact that 2 goals in 8 games is unacceptable. For any side in this league, that's unacceptable. Never mind a team going for top 2. I think, personally, this formation has been sussed out. So many times today, the front two of Gallagher and Brereton. Gallagher was playing as a midfielder or a right wing back at times. He would push back that deep. Brereton's up front isolated. They're that far apart that there's no link up play between the two of them at all. It's just get it down the wing and cross it in, and that was all it was all game. There were many a time this season where we were having passing play in between our strikers and then getting the ball in behind, whether that be over the top or a through ball. I mean, my mind goes back to Derby away, where there was a couple nice goals with some nice link-up play, and it wasn't just cross it in. I think we need to go back to the 4-3-3 personally. I would have played it tonight. I wanted that tonight. I think if you'd have gone Nyambe, Van Heck, Wharton and Giles, I wouldn't have had a problem with that personally. Maybe Giles isn't up to scratch defensively and would maybe get uncovered defensively. Maybe that was Mowbray's thinking behind it, but Pickering was on the bench tonight and should be fit for the next game, I would have thought. So, personally, seeing as IR is injured, I would be going for the back four. Lenihan is back, so I can't see it happening. It probably will be go back to the back five again. At the end of the day, Mowbray was a centre back, and at heart, obviously, is a defensive-minded manager due to that. And it is very much safety first in terms of Rovers, but obviously you can't win games if you can't score goals, and 2 goals in 8 games, it's unacceptable. Like I said, I think we need the 3 up front. Bring Buckley back. Stop playing him as this false 9 who's pressing the ball. Have Dolan as your central player if you want someone to press the ball from the middle. He'll run himself into the ground, Dolan. Get Gallagher on the right and get Kadra on the left. Kadra can cut in. Obviously, we don't have Brereton for the next game, else I would be saying, obviously, put Brereton on the left. But this is what we're going to have to deal with for the next game. I personally would go with the back four. But it'd be harsh not to bring Lenihan back into the team. But we can't have a game against Millwall on Saturday and not win it. It's a must win. You can't be playing a team like Millwall at home who are not really looking like they're going to get relegated, don't stand a chance of getting playoffs, and not win that game. They've got nothing to fight for. We've still got something to fight for at this point. Maybe top 2 is starting to look a bit out of our hands at the minute, but you look at our last 10 games, you look at Bournemouth's running, there's no reason why we couldn't go on a bit of a run in our last 10 and Bournemouth hit a bit of a bad patch and we sneak in there. There's absolutely no reason we couldn't. So the boys have still got something to fight for. They'll still believe that they can make top 2. So we need to take the game to Millwall. We can't be doing what we've been doing and wasting golden opportunities that we have, but ultimately we're not creating enough of them. We're not getting enough opportunities out of this game. Brereton scored 2 offside goals tonight, but other than that, was there a chance? Buckley had one, but that is really it. And it isn't good enough. And we know Millwall are going to come to Ewood on Saturday and they're going to sit back. They're going to say, break us down. We know you can't break us down, which is one of the main faults with this team, unfortunately. We can't break a team down. And they're going to say, come break us down, we'll be happy to take a point from Ewood. Can you blame them? No. But that is what's going to happen. And ultimately, we are a counter-attacking team. So, personally, I think we need the 4-3-3. Drop Buckley into midfield. Play him as a right-sided midfielder. Have Rothwell as the left central midfielder. Travis as your holder. Travis is going to be like your 5th man in defence anyway. So you've got a solid midfield three there. Rothwell's going to be driving you up the pitch. Buckley's going to be pulling the strings, and then Travis is there to clean up, just like we did many a time last season with the 4-3-3. And that is the perfect balance in the midfield. And then, like I said, you either play Dolan as central or on the right, Gallagher as central or on the right. Depends whether you're wanting to press or not. If you wanted to press, have Dolan as your central and Gallagher on the right. If not, and you need to nick a goal, then you would get Gallagher in the box and wanting him central to be getting crosses from Giles. But I think if we are going for the back four, if Pickering's fit, it has to be Pickering at left back and Nyambe at right back. Both defensively sound and both can handle themselves defensively and allow us to play with three attackers because they're more than competent enough to not need five defenders. That back four, whether that's Lenihan Wharton or Van Heck Wharton, is more than competent enough to deal with Millwall at home. So personally, I'd be taking the game to Millwall. We know they're going to sit back, so instead of doing what's been happening pretty much every game recently, trying to break a team down when we're playing this current formation, it isn't working. Why not try something different? Can't see it happening, but we'll just have to hope and see. But like I said, ultimately a good point today. At the start of the season, would you have took a point at the Hawthorns? Away at the Hawthorns, of course you would. I mean, just as a side note, the Rovers fans were decent tonight, came in decent following. There was quite a lot of families there due to kids being off school at the minute, so it was nice to see that. On the West Brom fans were pretty poor, to be honest, and you know, a lot of people criticise our attendance at games and stuff like that, but we may not have as many fans in the stadium as somewhere like the Hawthorns, but we sure as hell make a lot more sound than they do. They were practically, I mean, they may as well have not even been there, to be honest. They had a couple moments here and there when the team were on top. They made a little bit of noise, but you know, I think ultimately our fans did ourselves proud tonight, pulled the boys through some tough times, especially in that first half where West Brom were all over us for a good 10-15 minutes. And yeah, we gave a good account of ourselves tonight. So on to Millwall, a must win. And we just have to do the business.
Okay, my thoughts on the game are that Rovers did very well defensively. Good to see Nyambe in central defensive position and doing really well. So yeah, just reminds us that he can do a good job there. Van Hecker, always solid, and Wharton, great, standing up to Andy Carroll. Really impressed with him. And they all kept Andy Carroll quiet. I was worried about him, particularly because of his Premier League experience, you know, England experience. You know, he's played at the top, and they dealt with him. So that's really encouraging for me for the rest of the season. Going forward, Brereton Diaz, I probably said his name wrong, Brereton Diaz. He did well, you know. He was unfortunate with the offside, but you know, that's encouraging. I think it you know, he'll get that right soon, and it'll all click into place. So we were solid away from home. It's an away point. It's a basis, I think, for them to build on for the next game. And I really hope that the next game, the attack will start to deliver. We've got the players, and I believe that things will fall into place. Things will click into place. and the goals will arrive, and that will build the confidence, and that's what they need. They just need a good win, and I think they'll be fine.
There you have it, folks. There you bloody have it. That's, of course, the reactions of some of the Blackburn Roverseas mafioso. Now, if you want to join the mafioso, let me know down in the comment section, of course, or better still, follow me on Twitter and DM me directly that way, of course. Yes, we're trying to expand on the Blackburn Rovers content over the next few weeks, and, of course, with hopefully bringing some exciting new stuff in the next couple of weeks, of course. But I can't really talk about it too much because it's a bit of a surprise. But we're working on it night and day. But anyway, please give the guys, the Blackburn Roverseas mafioso, some love and smash the thumbs up, smash the subscribe as well if you're new, and of course make sure you check back with us next time around as we build up for Millwall. But until then, guys, I'll see you soon for the next one. Until then, we're done for now.